Welcome to this heart-to-heart conversation, a portal into your freedom, your creative power, and your presence. Together, we remember how to create consciously, live in harmony with the earth, and restore the sacred balance of life. Hello, hello, welcome. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Sandra. Yay, nice to see your face. Thank you for being here. And so, yes, this is the closing ceremony for the 10-week journey that we've all just been on together, whether you joined live or caught the replays. But whether you know it or not, something is definitely shifting in you, and perhaps it will start to unravel in the coming weeks and months. So I'm truly, truly grateful for all of you that showed up, whether it was live or catching the replay. And so this is the closing ceremony and initiation gateway. And so I'm just going to invite us to just really get settled into this sacred space and really be here now. So if you like to, I like to place my hands on my heart. And we're just going to take a couple of long, deep breaths in through the nose, deep into the belly, and then exhaling out of the mouth. And just really bring yourself to this moment here. And then on the next inhale, imagine that you're breathing this beautiful golden liquid light from above your head, above your crown, bringing it through down into the center of your head, and just really filling your head with this beautiful golden liquid light. And as you breathe in, imagine breathing in all the energy around your head space, head and shoulders, maybe from the day, maybe any thoughts or worries, just bringing it into the head space. And then on the next exhale, you're going to drop it all the way down the central channel, down to the earth, and just let it all go. And just take a couple more breaths. Maybe you want to breathe out with some sound. Like that. And then we're going to call in our guides and angels to surround and protect, guide and direct us. And we're asking to see, hear, feel, and know what it is that is wishing to be brought into our awareness for our highest good and our greatest joy. And I'm going to call in the Council of Light and the original harmonic of divine remembrance, so that all who are gathered may open to the truth of who they truly are. And so just take a couple of long, deep breaths. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes, maybe pat your body. Bring yourself back to the room, back to this space. Nice. So I want to thank you for really saying yes to remembering the truth of who you are beyond the conditioning and beyond the programming that we've all talked about through the series of conversations with our amazing speakers. And my vision really for this series was to create a guided journey of awakening, a space where you could remember to realign and reattune really to your multidimensional self. And, you know, in a world full of many voices and a lot of noise and distraction, knowing our own energy is no longer optional. It's really essential. And this is really how we discern the truth from the false light. And this is why knowing your energy will serve you going forward and help you navigate this next chapter of your life and this Aquarian age that we're now moving into. And it won't be through pushing and forcing and efforting, it will be really through frequency. And that's really what I was guided to offer everyone through this series. And so, as we come to the close of our journey together, I really want to take a moment to honor each of our guest speakers for the wisdom, presence, and their unique transmission that they brought forward, and for the resonance that they activated, I believe, in each of us, because each one carried a different frequency. And together, their voices formed this arc of awakening, guiding us from clearing old energies and letting go of those survival patterns into the anchoring of our new timelines as conscious creators of our reality. And so I'm just going to name them for just to honor them. So we had our first guest who kicked off the series was Caroline Oceana Ryan, and she opened the field with multi-dimensional insight and dragon wisdom, helping us recognize and break free from illusions that keep us bound, reminding us of the deep intelligence and the guardianship that is available when we really connect beyond the veil. And then we had Janet Doer, and she brought practical tools for releasing energetic weight of trauma and to restore peace in the body, offering a grounded way to return to joy and to clarity. And then the beautiful Kim Vandisand reminded us of what it means to be rooted in love and how anchoring into divine connection can allow this softness, this inner strength and soul truth to coexist all at once, all together. And Stacey McDaniel, she offered clarity in aligning with our higher self, making it tangible and accessible, especially in moments when it's easiest to forget, our true inner power and our inner knowing. And then Michaela Cordeo, she brought in really high frequency wisdom about the ascension process, helping to guide us and understand the transformational times that we're living through and the planetary grid work supporting this evolution. Emma Kamara, she invited us into a new paradigm of co-creation with nature, with technology, and with the consciousness of life itself. And her message really was a reminder that sacred living is not just internal, it's also relational, not just with other people, but with every living species on our planet. And then the lovely Eileen McCusick offered a vital perspective on energy mastery. And she taught us how to discern, well, what is truly ours versus what has been projected or absorbed, so that we can walk with clear boundaries and energetic sovereignty. And then lastly, Meg Benedicte, she helped us understand the greater significance, the greater shift in human consciousness and how to navigate it, anchoring the higher timelines, not as an escape from, this reality, but really as a way of truly living. And so each offering that they each brought carried their unique key. And it's my hope that each of you found something or one of the offerings that really met you exactly where you are on the path. And so you, the viewer, the listener, the multidimensional traveler and seeker, and the keeper of your very own codes, I really thank you and honor you also for walking this path with us. And I'll just let you into some stuff that was going on behind the scenes. As this series was unfolding outwardly, I was also walking my own deeply personal path and weaving much more than schedules and emails. And what was going on for me was I was shedding patterns around worth and visibility and being received. I was really reclaiming my voice and, letting go of perfection, of having to be this polished performer, and also having the courage to speak, especially as a woman that has known the cost of speaking my truth. I was also revisiting soul wounds within my family, where gaslighting replaced listening and love was always conditional. And I was reclaiming my power from those, conditioning that I'd been met with. And I was also watching a lot of old patterns of distortion surface, both around us externally through the series, so that each of these patterns could start dissolving. And that's really what my gift is. I awaken codes in people and allow any patterns of distortion, whether conscious or unconscious, to gently come up to the surface so that they can be released. And so, really, I don't feel that this container was just a series. I feel it was an initiation, if I can spit that out, into higher timelines. And I don't know about you, but I certainly emerged a lot clearer. Not as someone who has to show up being perfect all the time, but certainly as someone that's chosen to live and walk with integrity. And what I see for many of us is this. We're done playing small just to fit in and be accepted. We're done dimming our light to fit into old paradigms. And really, we're all here to rise, not through fighting and struggling, but really just remembering the truth of our magnificence, our true essence. And so that was my wish for everyone. And if you felt a connection to the frequency that I hold, and if you wish to walk more deeply, then you're warmly invited to join me in my three-part masterclass series, which is called From Matrix to Mastery. Really an add-on from what we've created through this series, helping you disentangle from the programmed reality and the programmed version of ourselves and really step into our self-mastery. And so we will be exploring how to shift from these survival patterns into conscious creation and begin truly living from soul. And so I'm inviting you into a frequency shift from reacting to creating. And so you'll learn to reconnect with your intuition and your subtle inner knowing that's perhaps, like mine was, long been dismissed or suppressed. You'll also shift from the program self to the real self, and you'll learn to decode the energies around you and understand, well, what you're feeling and why. And then in the third masterclass, we'll be shifting from outer seeking, from seeking that external validation into inner mastery. And so you'll build your trust and your own inner guidance and your own higher wisdom, and then open the path to claiming sovereignty over your life. And so it's practical, it's powerful, and it's really rooted in new earth consciousness. And so I'll be sharing more about that I'll drop an email out to everyone tomorrow. There'll be a special offer, a special rate for everyone that joined the series, as well as a special bonus gift. So I hope that you'll consider joining me there. And so I'd love to close with a final energy transmission, which is called The Dawning of the New Light. And I hope that within it it will illuminate what is true for you, and it will dissolve what is false. And I hope that it will remind you that the light you've always been seeking lives within you. So I'm just going to pause for a moment and put that on for you. Just one moment. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen. And so I'm going to turn my camera off so I'm not distracting. And I'm just going to invite you just to settle in. You can either look at the image that I'm sharing here, or you can close your eyes and get comfortable in your chair. Okay, so here we go. Close your eyes and gently bring your awareness to your inner stillness and be present in this moment now. Allow the breath to soften, the body to rest, and the heart to open. You have journeyed far through words, frequencies, stories, and transmissions that have lit the path ahead. Now you stand at the threshold, not of an ending, but a dawning, the dawning of a new light within you. Let us walk through the inner gate together. Breathe deeply now. Feel your spine as a pillar of light. Above you, the stars. Below you, the earth. The Council of Light surrounds you, a circle of radiant beings who have witnessed your becoming. And here too are the 12 harmonics, each one pulsing like a petal of light from your eternal essence. Feel the frequencies of remembrance beginning to stir. What was once dormant now awakens. What was once forgotten now returns. You are remembering who you are. And so we weave now 12 blessings of inner harmony. May your life reflect the sacred balance of all things. May your voice be clear, your knowing unshaken. May you meet the world with an open and tender heart. May your spirit move unbound, sovereign and alive. May stillness be your strength and your sanctuary. May you remember your ability to shape reality with love. May delight return to your cells like sunlight after rain. May you feel the one in all things and all things in you. May your choices be guided by the light of your soul. May you become a living flame of divine presence. May every step you take be blessed by invisible wings. And may you dream new worlds into being in harmony with all life. Breathe this in now. Let each harmony spiral into your field, a crystalline encoding awakening in your cells, in your soul. And as this light weaves through you, see yourself standing on the new earth, rooted, radiant, and real. A new light is dawning within. Let this transmission settle into your bones. And when you feel ready, you may gently open your eyes. Return to this world not as you were, but as who you are becoming. For your journey has just begun. Welcome back. How did that feel? I know we've just got a little intimate group with us tonight, but if anyone wants to share their experience, or if you've got any comments or questions, I'm happy to open the floor and we can have a conversation.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. Well, I think I just break, the wave, if you will. That was lovely. That's the word that comes to mind. That was lovely. This transmission was beautiful, and the energy taking the softest I have ever experienced in any activation. But usually it goes by the Zoom. You know,
Mm.
that's usually my term. So thank you very much. This was lovely.
Well, I will accept lovely.
I thought so.
I'm glad that you found it lovely. Hope that more unfolds for you. It is a powerful activation, and yeah, maybe more will start to unfold over the time. But yeah, thank you for being here and for receiving it. Candice, thank you. Just saw your message in the chat. The journey of remembering with you and each of your guests has been beautiful. So I got lovely and beautiful. Thank you. I'm very happy that you've joined us. Thank you. And oh, let me just see another message. Just this morning, I witnessed the dawn of the opening of this year's Sirius portal. Yeah, and the first voice of bird song. Beautiful. So absolutely, it's. I often find that I don't plan it, but I often find that a lot of my offerings or my work tends to fall in perfect alignment with these other dates. So thank you for bringing that in as well. Yeah, yeah. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has got anything about the series or about anything that unfolded for you. But equally, I'm happy to just let you hop off and enjoy the rest of your evening or your day, wherever you are. Um, and if you choose to join me again and something else, then it would be lovely again to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was lovely.
Good.
No, it's also quite nice to have connected in a circle that's a tad bit closer to home time wise also because I'm located in Germany and all of the offerings that are overseas well
Yeah, they're often late, aren't they?
yeah if they're on the west coast
Yeah,
it is something. I mean, East Coast, depending on when they put their offerings out, time wise, it's okay. You
yeah,
can do that, right? I'm currently on a course where hop on or not at 1:30 in the night, which I usually don't do. I'm a night owl, but yeah.
yeah. No, I can't stay out that late.
No,
Yeah,
I always was. I always was. Not the all, not the early mockingbird, but the night owl. So I can manage it, but nonetheless. So it's also lovely. Lovely. This what comes up. Maybe it's the energy, you know, we
yeah,
have right now.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Spot on. That's right.
Yeah. So this week is also somewhat of a pause. I find. I mean, it's hot over here, so you don't do anything, and but anyways, it feels like pause.
Mm.
Not like you're stuck, but there once pause. Take a breath, sit. Don't get out in the heat.
I feel you're right. I feel like there's been an energy shift certainly in the past week. And I know some different planets are kind of aligning up and stuff, so that's possibly affecting it or probably
Yeah.
affecting it as well.
And on the 7th, we have Uranus. I'm not an astrologer, but usually I tune in when the big ones happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So the galactic ones and stuff like that. And Uranus is moving into Gemini. I think it's on the 7th. And this is when the portal ends, the Syrian portal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think then we will have movement.
Well, and I think that's also about freedom, isn't it? And yeah, fast, wanting to be on the go. I understand it as.
Yeah, and breaking up of old paradigms, shaking it up. I mean, Uranus rules Aquarius.
Mm.
No questions there. I mean, I haven't dug deeper, and I don't know if I have the chance because there's a whole lot of going on energy-wise. But while I'm on it, and it just a question pops into my head. On the monthly tea, spiritual tea and cake, you were mentioning community circle you're putting up. I think it was in September.
Yeah, I'm gonna let summer because people are away and stuff, and then I'll
Yeah, and there should be pause, right?
yeah. Yeah. So
Well,
we're gonna go a lot deeper in those classes. Yeah.
yeah. So, can you talk a tad bit more about the makeup of these? Is this more like you guiding and everyone else off mic, or is it more like an open lead? Or if you don't have any idea and just like come to you, it's also fine. I mean, it's just me wanting to know what's the idea currently.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing this in. I wasn't expecting this, but I'm happy to share what I've kind of been working on behind the scenes. So we're still going to have the monthly free call, the coffee and cake call and manifestation hour, and then I'm planning to do probably two more a month, which will just be a small exchange. And we'll go a lot deeper, kind of guiding through the awakening journey. It'll be more themed. So we might tackle things like, um, again, managing our energy, learning more about, well, what does my energy body feel like? How do I navigate my life from the inside out rather than being reactional to what's, maybe happening in the external world?
Mhm.
We'll also be looking a lot about activating our light body, getting our inner masculine and feminine in balance so that we can again use we'll harness the energies of both of those of feminine, creative energy and masculine containment and logical energy and how we can really embody those energies and become masterful, really. It's all about self-mastery for me, which is what I teach as a mastery coach. So there, that's a little taster little preview. How does that sound?
Yeah, well, actually, on point because I feel it's all about remembering our mastery. That's why we're here, right? So we are already masters at it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have chosen these lives we chose.
That's right.
You couldn't do that otherwise. So it's not this classic way where you step up, step up, step up. We've already done that part probably multiple times. So it's all about remembering, putting it all together, shedding the timelines, which feels weird actually.
Hmm.
If you can really feel it happening,
Well, and we're in this accelerating time where, I really believe that, and as if you joined the conversation with Meg last week, we are at this kind of split. And so we have a choice to stay in,
the
cycling.
mark, the mark.
Yeah, in the muck, if you want to call it that. It's a good word. And cycling, these patterns of disempowerment and the conditioning and and neither's good or neither's better than the other. It's whatever our soul has come to learn and grow from. So some may choose that path. That's maybe the best path for their soul, where they're at in their incarnation. And then the other timeline is, of course, moving to the higher frequencies, activating our light body and having a newer experience. And of course, this has never happened before, or certainly not since previous golden ages, many, many, decades.
Millennia, yeah.
And I personally believe that that's where we're headed. We have an opportunity to really live the new golden age where we are divine embodied, in our unique forms. So that's what I think we have the choice of. So yeah, absolutely perfectly timed and really offered as a support for all of us walking this path of mastery. And
Mm.
what I've found as well is the more we awaken our light, we become lighter, our bodies become lighter. We actually start to look more youthful because we've dropped all of that dense energy that was weighing
Yeah,
us down.
yeah, the energetic fat,
Absolutely. And
if
then
you will.
yeah, and then of course, any old traumas or things that we've experienced in our life, we start to see it through a new lens. And then when
Mm,
we have that new knowing, then we access our peace. We find that deep inner peace that we've all been searching for, possibly in the external world. And when we
mm,
find it within, then it becomes, our experience in the outer world. And then, once we're at that peaceful place, that's really when I see that we're able to create because we're not creating from, you know, seeking that validation or needing something or pushing for something. We're just in that peaceful, joyful, innocent energy where we can just create, like we did as children. And that's
yeah, children, that's it. That came to my mind too, the innocence, the immediacy we had as children, just sitting down, plopping down, grabbing the crayons, and then whatever put on paper, or the wallpaper in my case.
that's
Um,
it. And we weren't, and and if you remember, we weren't worried about what happened yesterday, really. We were always in the present moment. We weren't
mm,
worrying about the future, and that's really where the magic exists. Um,
exactly.
yeah.
And
So
I also feel what's been cropping up for me, and think maybe this is validation because we're human, so we like to be received by others in a way, like in the best possible way, positive, but it shouldn't influence what we do, but we still like it, and we're allowed to like it. I mean, we shouldn't could differentiate that out. I mean, it's been coming up in the collective. This is not a new one, but it's about connection. It's about community. It's about the Lemurian frequencies, if you will, because that's one of the best illustrations I find for that one.
hmm.
And it's this exchange like we do now, like this exchange of like-minded and yeah, of the good people, like not like good in some kind of judgment, more like good in the maudlin sense, like the divinity within. That's what I'm referring to with that word. Like
Yeah.
to exchange, and sometimes when we live through weird stuff, and say, okay, yeah, yeah, I can guide myself, but it's, did you experience that? Okay. Just connecting and supporting and exchanging. And of course, the moment we talk, the moment we see each other, we activate, we read, we connect without
Mm.
saying a word, anyways. But the doing is crucial.
Well, what I received at the beginning of this year was that the real message was about exactly what you shared. It's about togetherness
Yeah,
for every man for himself, fighting to and striving to get somewhere.
yeah,
Actually, get somewhere by all working together. Um,
yeah.
and yeah, so I totally reflect and share what you've just spoken into as well.
So
Yeah.
it's the Aquarian way, is it not?
It's humanitarian, right? And
Yeah,
I also personally I believe that it's not necessarily all about love and light and loving not loving everyone, but it doesn't mean that it's about sovereignty. And in sovereignty, we can still honor and with compassion and love for other people. Doesn't mean we have to be their best mate. And
no,
I feel like that's where we're really being called to discern, which is why energy work is so important because we're being asked to discern, certainly, as in these coming years before we get to, really that space. It's really about discerning the energy that we're in, or we're either emitting or we're receiving from others, and deciding, does this feel good to me? Is this making me expand and want to jump in with both feet, or am I feeling like something doesn't feel off? Something
yeah,
feels
right.
because especially, I do feel like we're in a time where there's a lot of false light, people or, AI or whatever it is, maybe offering stuff that we really need to start being discerning of. And it's not to say anything's bad, but it's a task of mastery. And so these
Yeah,
things really are being put out there for us to really practice our inner mastery. That's kind of how I see it.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, with the AI, it's as always, it's tool as our voices, as our bodies are, its expression and the awareness of how you use it.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the intention. AI can be great, but it, it shouldn't be the master.
Well, it's this exactly, Sandra. It's like, what do they? I can't remember who said the famous quote, but we've got it the wrong way around, where we've let our head lead, and actually our mind should be guided by the heart first. And
Yeah, well,
the
yeah,
same with
exactly.
AI. We can work with it, but don't lose your sovereignty. Make sure that you are still using your free will,
Yeah,
divine
absolutely.
will, divine
Yeah,
will.
absolutely. It's this image of the mind serves the soul and the heart, not the other way around. And the thing is, the moment you step in, usually, usually it depends on your structure, actually. I'm speaking from experience, obviously, but it passes the baton, it passes the scepter
Mm.
because it's not made for ruling alone. Okay, there may be stubborn pockets or something you haven't discovered yet, but in the end, it says, here you go. Be king, be queen, at last. It's mine.
I like that. Yeah, and and I think that's the same in our inner world as with what we see in the external world. It's not about power over other people
Mm-mm.
or our mind powering over our heart, as you said. It's really about honoring each person for where they are on their path. And if you don't like it, just step away and wish them well. Um,
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly. Sometimes hard to do when you're entangled. We all know that, but in essence,
Well, that's true. And I mean, this is one of the reasons I created the series to offer it as a guide, a resource, and also to help us to really have that self-awareness, and check in. Am I, have I suddenly gone into that autopilot, those old patterns, or am I really, paying attention to what it is I'm creating, what it is I'm responding, or am I responding or reacting, all of those things.
I
Yeah.
like that. This stop reacting, start creating.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was a big one for me, and that helped me name my brand because
Yeah, I think many people, if not most, will get that one.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a nervous system thing too.
Oh, amazing. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Sandra. I'm so happy that you brought all this in this evening, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you for this lovely conversation and this lovely circle of other listens to it. I wasn't expecting this conversation. I had an open heart, so this was okay. It was a closing ceremony. This can be anything.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect either, but I was ready for whoever was willing and wanting to show up. So I'm glad you enjoyed the transmission.
I did. I did. It was last question though. Will it be? I loved it very much. I mean, you don't need to repeat those necessarily, but this one is a good one, as well as the gardening one was. So you got talent here, if I may say that, from my perspective at least. So, yeah, will there be a replay or a replay of that section at
Yeah,
least?
I'll pop it in. I'll pop it in a replay. Yeah, for sure. I'll send that out tomorrow for everyone.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice. Good to hear. It's lovely. And
Yeah,
this is my parting word.
well, I get them as, they come in as downloads, so I'm being guided to offer them, and I really enjoy doing it. So it's great to receive that feedback.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, well, if there's no other comments or questions, I will let you head off and enjoy your day or evening or whatever you're doing. And I hope to obviously see you again.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sending much love. All right, bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you, Victoria. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining this heart-to-heart conversation. As we awaken to freedom and remember our true nature, we restore harmony between humanity and Mother Earth. This is a space for conscious creators, for those here to reclaim their power, presence, and divine potential. I'm Victoria Hart, and from my heart to yours, I honour your light and your unfolding path. To explore more, visit theconsciouscreationcoach.com